Hey, welcome to a China build guide for how to get Song Dynasty super fast with all the fixins. Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. That's a fucking horrible intro. That's making me laugh, dude. So stupid. Okay, we're gonna do it for real. Hey guys, welcome to a build guide for China. In this video, you're gonna see a little bit of a text document that's gonna talk about my initial build order for most of my games, and then this game doesn't even match that at all, so don't worry about that. But we'll talk about this game and how to also deal with something else. So this is a twofer. This game is gonna not only be how to get a build order as an opener for a general playstyle, but also how to stop battering ram pushes from Holy Roman Empire with men-at-arms and all that shit. So, talking about the initial build order really fast, here it is. There's a little document for you there. There's a little notepad. Vibe's current build order opener with China in an average game. So what we do when the game starts is I'll take my first 6 workers that are right there and I'll put them on food. I'll put them on a little sheep that's right there in front of my base. Like right there, that little guy right there. I will then immediately start a worker. I will then grab my scout and I'll run around and I'll do a lap around my base and collect all the sheep around my base. While I do this lap, I will also try to find out where the deer are. Don't take too long though, because if you wait too long to go back to your base, your dudes will run out of sheep to farm, and then they'll just stand there with thumbs up their asses and do nothing. So make sure you turn in more deer to your TC, your town center, within about at least like 20 seconds, or else you're gonna fuck yourself. So first 6 guys go on food. What I immediately do after that is I rally point my TC to the gold, okay? And then what I do with that guy, the first guy that pops out of my TC, going to the gold mine, is I build a house and then a quarry. Or you can build a quarry and then a house. I don't give a shit what order you do it in. It does not fucking matter. Just build a house and a quarry, okay? Then, after that, what you want to do after that is you then rally. So you have 2 guys on gold. You then rally your town center to the wood, and you put 4 guys on wood. So the first guy builds a lumber mill, and then 3 more guys after that build they continue to mine wood for you. So you first guy builds wood and mines wood, and the other 3 guys that follow just do the wood. So you have 4 guys in total on the wood. The second your wood mill is done, you immediately start the forestry upgrade. So get that shit fucking immediately. Get it ASAP, like right as it's finished. Then right after that, your next 4 workers again, your next 3 workers are going to be going on to the. If you have a deer spawn really close to your base, that's also fine. But just build a mill, and then build it, just build it on the side of whatever your TC's on. So definitely don't build the mill there. Build it here so it's easier to defend your workers. You want your workers to be as close as possible to your defense points. So here would be a good place to put the mill. So you can put the mill there, and you put like another 3 workers. You go up to like 9 workers in total on food, okay? And then after that, you put 1 more worker on gold. So you now have your 3rd worker on gold at 17. And then you put another like 5 workers on stone. So like 4 or 5 workers. Ideally, I usually go to 5, but if you get 4 on there, it's fucking fine as well. But yeah, just put like 5 workers on stone. And then basically what you want to do after that is the reason why this makes sense and why this all lines up well for you is because once you get to this point where you have 5 dudes on stone and you have the 3 guys on gold, you have the 4 guys on wood, you have the 9 guys on food, you're going to get all of the resources you generally need to get your Song Dynasty, which is this right here, which is crazy, crazy, crazy good. And you're going to get your 2nd town center, and you're going to basically be able to afford all of this shit. So the final thing about what you should be doing here is as soon as you get 5 guys on stone, re-rally point your town center, the first one you have, back to the wood. That way you can afford all the wood stuff you're going to need, which is going to be like another house at that point so you don't supply block. You're going to need to afford 400 wood in addition to that to be able to afford the town center you're going to build in a second. And you're going to also need to be able to afford wood towers or wood walls if your opponent is aggressive to you, which happens a fucking lot, okay? So it's going to help you be defensive. So 6 food, 2 gold, 4 wood, 3 more food, 1 more gold, 5 stone, and then go back to wood. That is literally the build for the opener of the game. It might take a little bit to get used to it, but it's totally fine. But what I do as well is I take one guy as soon as I have in the bank 400 food and 200 gold. I'll take one guy off of food specifically. I don't give a shit if it's a sheep guy or a berry guy. And you build your this building right here, the Barbican or the Barbican, whatever it's called. The Barbican building, you build that. It's a defensive point structure. You build that, and we'll talk about how to build your base in a minute here. But you build that first. And then once you build that, you then power build your Imperial Academy. Okay? So you build your Barbican first. And then as soon as you start your... Once it's finished, you can then build your Imperial Academy. And once you start your Imperial Academy, you put like 4 workers in total on it. So you literally... you put 4 workers in total on that shit. And what it'll do is it'll give you a fast Song Dynasty. And you'll be able to afford it like really well on time. The other thing about what you do with stone, when you have 5 guys on stone, you turn in, ideally, all the stone you have. You get 10 stone per turn in for a worker, okay? So they mine stone until they have 10, and then they turn it in. Go back, mine until they have 10 and turn it in. So when you have 5 workers, try to just grab all 5 of them and have them all manually turn in stone. When your stone count is usually around 270 or 280, because generally speaking, you're going to have enough stone in their hands, probably, right around then, to just turn it in and get the final 20 or 30 that you need, because you could mine up to 50 there, with all of them hitting the thing. And then once you have 300 stone, you walk to wherever you found the deer, and you put the fucking town center on top of the deer. Because getting the food off of deer is crazy, crazy, crazy good. That is the whole fucking build. I would show you physically with this game, but this game is a little different, okay? Like I said, this is a 2-for-1. People have been asking for a fucking general opening guide for China, and that's what I really like right now. That's my own personal, like, flavor I like. I feel like I've experimented with it and, like, a few other builds, and I feel like this really feels good. And then, yeah. And then from there, the build could go, like, all the way to, like, 100 supply. It gets kind of fucking crazy, but... One thing I'll say, a lot of people ask me this one question, okay? They ask me this question like fucking crazy. They go, Vibe, when do you get tax officials? When the fuck do you get these like imperial official dudes? This is how I do it. I think once I get my expansion up, that is now rallied onto the deer, I then re-rally my main base, my first base, to the gold mine, and I then make my first 2 tax officials. One of them is just going to run around and collect taxes, and the other one is going to supervise my gold mine the whole time. Because you need gold so fucking much as China. And I will then probably also leave my rally point on from my main to my gold mine until I have about like 7 workers on it. And once I have about 7 workers on it, I'll stop. Because the reason why that's super important is because that allows me to get all of my wood, all of my food, and all of my gold and stone upgrades for efficiency of mining. All of it. And then it also allows me to like gradually tech through the ages and shit like that too. And then after I get like 7 guys on gold, I'll go back and I'll try to balance food and wood and stuff like that. But don't actually mine stone. Don't mine stone anymore, realistically, for a little while. You don't need to keep mining stone the whole time. Like once you get 300 stone, get your expansion up and kind of just ignore stone for a little while. Okay. So, anyways, that's the build. That's generally the build. For placement, again, we'll talk about it. We'll actually show it. Like, I actually do the placements either way, even though this game is a little different. But the placement of the buildings, your first building, your Barbican building, should be like you'll see your setup with your scout, because right now you can't tell where the fuck you want to build your buildings because you don't know where shit is. But your first scout should identify what makes sense. And there's a few ways to do it. But you want to place your first, the building, the the first building of Song Dynasty, the Barbican building. What the fuck is it called again? Barbican. Jesus. You place that fucking building like where the deer are not. You place it usually near a gold mine or a stone mine. Okay, that's usually, or maybe even like the edge of a berry bush, depending on how your base is set up. You never put it where the deer are though, because that is where your second TC will go. Your second town center goes always the other point, which should be where the deer are, ideally. If it's a map that has like a really fucked up deer spawn where it's super far away, just put your second TC near like a wood area or something like that instead, or like a berry bush. That's ideally where the deer ideally would have wanted to have been. Again, we'll talk about it as we go. It's a little confusing, but let's go ahead and play this out now. Let's start it up. But that's generally my opening build, okay? It's just how to get to Song Dynasty 2-town center really fast, and it's really efficient from there, and you can do a lot of shit with that build. That's like an opener that can flow really well. So this build is not going to be exactly what I just explained, which is why I didn't just show you with this one. I kind of fucked up my build this game. But this game is still a really good example to now how to deal with defensive play, which is why I'm still using it. So as you can see, like this map right here, this is an entrance to my base, right? So far we found one entrance to my base. This is nothing. This is the wall, the edge of the map, and it's walled off with trees. So this does not matter. But this is an entrance to my base. So that's one location we need to worry about. And you can see my scouts kind of like roaming around. There's a deer. That is not a place you should put your town center, though. That is so fucking far away from your base. This is way too far away from your base to put a town center over there. When I say you want to put a town center near deer, we're talking like you'd want it to be like right there. Or like right there. Or right there or something. Also, I think my sound just died. This is going great. Did my sound just die? Or did my... What just happened to my sound? Did my headset just die? I don't fucking even know, dude. Can you guys still hear sound? What the fuck? You guys can hear sound. I can't hear sound. Okay, my sound's gone. Whatever. I just don't have sound now. I can see you guys can still hear sound though, so it's fine. Yeah. Anyways, our dude's kind of collecting sheep, whatever. I turned in some more sheep before I left. Never leave your base, ideally, until you have at least like 4 sheep, like at your town center. It's not a good idea to leave your town center when you have like no sheep there, because your dudes are going to run out of sheep then, and you're going to get fucked. But we have a lot of sheep there already, so we decided to leave and scout my opponent's base pretty early. Okay, we're scouting whatever. We get it in and we get out. It's all good. You know, we go back to our base, and you know, eventually in a second here. We're looking for like more entrances to the base and shit like that. We're just scouting the terrain of our base. Okay, so there's another entrance to the base. This would be, now that we see there's a stone here and there is nothing here, you don't want to put your Barbican? You don't want to put that big defensive building. You don't want to put your planetary fortress in an area that is defending nothing. That's not what you want. You want to put it in an area that is going to actually defend a location that's crucial to what you're going to, your opener is going to have. So you'd want to put it here now because you want to pair it always with a stone or a gold mine if one of those is exposed. This gold mine is not really exposed. This stone is totally fucking exposed. And this would cover that indirectly because you'd have to go through this area to go to there, right? So this would be a perfect place to put it, somewhere around here, like there or there or there, anywhere in this area. And then going up here, you can see that there are berry bushes here. So this would not be a terrible idea to put a town center here. This would be a great town center location because you would get these bushes really well. And you would also get, so this now wouldn't be a bad place to put your planetary fortress because, you know, it's next to a gold mine, right? But here's the problem. We already have a gold mine, so we don't want to defend another gold mine because we're not going to mine from that gold mine for a long time because we're already mining from this one. This one's going to last for a long time. You do not want to spread out your gold mines. You really don't want to do that because you want to, well, you want to use your tax officials to boost your gold mines, which we'll come to later. But you do not want to mine out of multiple gold mines at the same fucking time. It's really bad. So, and also this is way too far away. Kind of similar to the deer here. They're way too far away. You don't want to spread yourself out too far. You want your base to be a bit more tight-knit, so it's easy for you to use like all your defense points together if you get all in and attacked and shit like that. So this is way too fucking far away. Do not go that far out that fast. This would be a great place to put your town center, which is much closer to your other one. This would be a great place to put your planetary fortress, which is really close to your town center. It's almost on the same screen still, as you can see. And then this would also not be the worst place to put a defensive structure, because again, it's still close to your base and it covers an entrance to your base here. Okay? So, yeah, I can't hear anything right now. This is actually, hold on. I know, I swear to God, you guys better not ruin my video, man. I'd be very angry with you. Okay, I can hear it again. That fucking Elgato like is buggy as shit. Okay. Thanks, stream, for not ruining my video. Okay, so now I'm you know, making our planetary fortress here. Hell yeah. We're scouting again. So scouting now. So we'll come back to the build a little bit more as we go about why it logically makes sense. But you can tell already this makes sense to put my my planetary fortress here, my big building, my big defensive building, my barbecue building. It makes sense to put that there because it's close to my main base and it covers a key location to my base. It covers my stone, which I need, which can then cover other entrances to my base. But I'm not saying always put this at the stone. It's just the stone happens to be an exposed resource that I need to cover, and you should never put it you should never put this building next to a food place if that's mostly ideal. If you had to put it near anything, you could put it near berry bushes, but this should never go on top of. The only reason why it would ever go on berry bushes ever is because it'd be like, oh, there's berry bushes here, and then there's deer over here, and I really want the deer with a TC, so I'll put this building in front of the berry bushes. That's the only time it would ever make sense to put this building next to a food resource if you had two food resources that needed to be defended. Otherwise, just don't do it. Put it near a ore resource instead. It's so much better because you want to put your TCs near food. And the reason why is because you want your tax collectors to boost your ore, and you want your food. Doesn't fucking matter if you have a mill or a TC. You just want to collect food. It's totally fine. You could boost a mill, but I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like you have plenty of food in China. You need, or like your gold is specifically way more than food. Like it's really easy to get food, I feel like. Especially if your town center expanding to a deer spawn. You're gonna have food. You're gonna have plenty of fucking food. So don't prioritize like everything about food with your bills and shit. With your tax officials. Anyways, we're scouting. This build right here, this building right here that we're seeing right here from Holy Roman Empire. Okay, so again, this is how to defend the Holy Roman Empire version of this bullshit. This is a blacksmith, and if you see this building, you should immediately be preparing to be battering ram all in if your opponent knows what they're doing. That's just a big sign already. This is a huge fucking sign. This is a blacksmith, guys. That is what that building is. It is a glorified blacksmith. And that upgrade right there on that blacksmith is what we're in question being scared about. We can't tell if he's getting that upgrade really fast, but it makes sense that he probably is if that's his first choice. Because the other choice that Holy Roman Empire has, instead of this big blacksmith, is an economical building, which is I can't see it now, but yeah, it's an economy building. I can't remember what it does. I think it like increases resource collection rates of units around an area, but it's just based on economy basically. Okay, so we already know he's probably gonna go for a battering ram timing. Okay, we know he's probably gonna go for a battering ram timing, and as you can see, we just got our Song Dynasty. This is our Song Dynasty, and right now we're just getting the last bits of wood that we need, and we fucked our build up this game a little bit. But also this is involving a dock, which is not always going to be the case, so we didn't really cover that. It's not important. Yeah, it's literally not. You could literally just bypass the dock every game and you'd be fine. Dock just requires more wood. That's all it really is. But anyways, we now have Song Dynasty. That's huge for worker production. And now we're getting just enough wood to 400 so that I can go make all of my my town center, my expansion. Okay, so look. We decided to put our... so here's how we did this. This works just fine. Look at the north side of my base. If he approaches from the north side, he's going between this building and between this building over here. This town center and this barbecue building are both big fucking defensive key points. And you can see their overlap right there is the circles right here with the lines. That's how far they can relatively shoot. So they can cover most of the top side. There's really not much of my base on the top side that's exposed. But now if you look at the south side of my base, the gold mine's kind of covered by the main base, and the stone mine over here is covered by the other building. But if this guy goes in my base and goes left, none of my wood or my houses are covered. This is all exposed and could die if he attacks this way. So I chose to go for my town center first to cover the triangle of defense, which is the most open exposed side. So we went south first to make sure we're not going to die. So if this guy comes from the south, he has to run through this major building. If he comes from the front, he has to run through this major building. If he comes from the top, he doesn't really have a lot of room to work with before he runs into either one of these two major buildings. This is why you need to build your base somewhat close together so that you have a key defense area that your buildings can all assist each other with. This is so fucking important. This is why I'm not expanding to deer way the fuck over here, because this building's exposed and he could run around my building and run in my base again. It's not what we want. We want him to always have to engage through a key point defense structure before he gets to my critical areas. So he takes like a beating before he gets there. It's really, really, really important to know that. Okay. And then this game specifically, we ended up just being really greedy. And I actually went for a triple town center. You don't have to do triple town center in this game. You really don't. But we went for triple town center, and to be honest, this town center's location is a little bit questionable. I'm not going to lie. With the logic I just told you guys, I probably should have built that town center like right there. Not way the fuck up here. We don't really need it to be near a gold mine because we use a mill for the gold mine anyway, or a quarry for the gold mine anyway, so we can boost it. But this should have been a little bit further back, because now if he attacks the north side, this is super far out there by itself. This is a shit location. I literally should have built it probably like right there. That way it could have been assisted really well, where I could just easily fall back if he chases me through the town center to another town center or to my barbecue. You know what I mean? Like this is already a little bit out there. It still covers the top, which is nice, but it's maybe a little bit too far exposed, I would say. Okay, pause. I wish you could back up the replay. Holy fuck. So anyways, he shows up, okay? He shows up. Literally, I paused about like 10 seconds later after he started attacking. So it hasn't been much time. Basically what happened is I've scouted what looks like he's going for a battering ram all in. It looks like it, but I haven't really prepared for anything yet. I've been really greedy, because normally what I do is I build towers versus battering ram all ins before they hit me, because I see them like setting up outside my base. Because you have to build battering rams. They don't just spawn into existence in 1 second. They have to be built outside my base, and then he like rolls them in, essentially. And that's very manageable to, if you scouted that he was doing that, I could easily build towers at the same time, and I could counter battering rams with towers, essentially. Okay. Now my scout was at his base way too long, and I just didn't really see shit. So that's my own fault for being over here for way too long. But here's the crazy thing, okay? Here's the crazy part. I have no defense right now. I have 0 defense. I have 0 units. I have no military. I have 1 military supply, which is this scout, and that's it. You can see my name up here. It's Vibe. I have 46 workers and 1 scout. So I have no military. I have no barracks. I have no archery range. I have no stable. I have nothing. All I have is key defensive point structures, a Song Dynasty, and triple town center. Although I do recommend you probably just do double town center. This is really greedy, but it doesn't matter. The point is all we need to really do is make outposts and get a lot of workers grouped up, okay? So if you guys have ever watched my Bronze Doom series, one of the big things I tell you to do whenever you get attacked early in the game is to never stop making workers the whole time. So even if your opponent doesn't attack and they kill some workers, if you just keep making workers, you usually will end up ahead anyways. You'll be good to go. It's similar in this game, okay? So while he's attacking and he's killing this building, it kind of sucks because this is a really good building to have. It's a big key defensive point structure that does a lot of damage, and it also can be loaded up to do even more damage. But I have to let it die now because I wasn't ready for this. But so this is like a worst case scenario here where I had no preparation and we still destroy this, okay? This is why I wanted to use this as an example, because this is like the worst it could possibly have been. I was really greedy and I wasn't prepared, and I still will kill this. So we just power build towers now, and we use any stone that we can get here from now on into getting hand cannon slits on my towers. This is really, really, really important. And we should be mining more stone as soon as we identify he's going for the blacksmith building. That's a tell that tells us this build's probably going to happen. So if we don't have to mine like a bunch of guys on stone. We're talking like 2 guys on stone, maybe 3, and you're good. That's just it. Doesn't have to be like 10 guys on stone. That's way too much. So like 2 or 3 guys on stone, and you're good to go, okay? But now, this guy's killing my base. We're making towers. We're pulling workers off of the wood, like all over the place. We're basically pulled a bunch of workers off of this wood here, and we pulled a bunch of workers off of this wood up here, and we pulled a bunch of workers off of this wood over here with these guys right here. We just pulled a bunch of wood workers, okay? And we're not touching our food. Oh, we don't really have a lot of. We have a decent amount of food, but yeah.
Show me the way of China for the Emperor.
Thank you, Scorber. We just pulled a bunch of wood workers, and the reason why is we also pulled our gold workers too. The reason why it logically made sense about how we pulled our workers. Also, Scorber, thank you for the tier 3, man. Sorry, I would acknowledge it more, but I'm making a video. I fucking love you, man. Thank you. We would pull workers off of other things too, but the reason why we're not pulling workers off of like food, for instance, well, some of them are actually ships in the water, which is fine, but we're not pulling off like these workers right here off the sheep because the main base is not rallied to that, and we're gonna let the main base continue to build shit and fix what gets removed as we defend, because every unit we build will fix. Well, like this gold we pulled off here. We'll keep resaturated gold with this guy right here. All the workers we pulled off wood will get resaturated with that guy right there. All the workers we pulled off wood up here, resaturated with this right here. So we're resaturating what we pulled off over time, and it's totally fine. We'll be just fine dealing with this. But now we have a shitload of workers we can utilize here. Another thing we did right away, the second we saw this battering ram all in, this is huge, we started textiles. This upgrade increases the worker's hit point by 50% of what they already have. They have 50 by default, and they have 75 with this upgrade. And it's only like a 20-second upgrade. You can get it at the last second, you can get it really fast, and it's game-changing how good this fucking upgrade is for defending a build like this. It is crazy. Super good. So now what we're doing again is we're making towers, we're upgrading hand cannon slits on these towers, and we're grouping up our workers. And we're still building more the whole time. We never stop building workers during this whole thing. And a big thing I do here, this is something I do here that I do quite often, is I will control group all the workers I just grabbed to like control 1 or some shit like that. And I will also control group the towers to like control 2. This is really important, and I'll tell you why I do it in a second. It's super fucking important to do that. But now the game goes on, he kills this base. We keep power building towers. We're building as many as we can. Now we try, I'm pausing it again right here because this is really important. What does the tower upgrade do? So the tower upgrade, it adds a defensive cannon-like shot to the tower. And it's in addition to loading up the tower and shooting arrows. So now it also shoots a cannon plus arrows. And it does, it pierces through heavy armor basically. So this is a heavy melee infantry unit. And this hand cannon slit will do extra damage to the men-at-arms because it pierces their heavy armor. Whereas the arrows will do reduced damage because these guys have a reduction to arrow-based damage
because they're heavy armor. Like arrows do minor, like they do weaker damage than normal to light heavy armor, and the cannon shot does more damage. It fucking owns them. It's like really good. So it's really nice to have this upgrade. And the big thing about what we want to do here is we never want to make contact with the men-at-arms ever, as much as possible. Avoid them at all costs. Like don't run into them and just like let your guys die. This is why like textiles is gonna help mitigate damage you're gonna take here. But like right now, I should be taking all my workers and running the fuck down. And I should be garrisoning into these towers to shoot at his men-at-arms. Meanwhile, my cannons will shoot the buildings that have the cannon upgrade, which this one's almost done. That shoots even if there's no workers inside of it. It'll shoot with 0 to 5 still. It's like a bonus shot. And it shoots like once every like 3 seconds or something. So we want to avoid these guys. So what our goal is going to be is to keep building towers, but maybe go down now and build these towers and garrison these towers up here that are already done. So we should run away from the men-at-arms right now. So we run away, we garrison, and now this is why we control group our towers. In this game, whatever you garrison, whatever building you garrison, okay, that building will always target fire whatever is closest to it first, and then as soon as that unit dies, it'll pick whatever is then closest to it again. That's just how the AI works in this game, okay? So you do not want your towers to, by chance, be target firing a battering ram, because your towers will take a fucking year to kill a battering ram, and we have another answer for the battering ram anyways. What we want our towers to be doing is we want our towers to be killing the men-at-arms. So if they're already killing the men-at-arms, that's fucking fine. Don't do anything. You're good to go. But if you're targeting a battering ram, hit your control group for your towers, which I use too, and just right-click a men-at-arms. Make sure that wherever the men-at-arms are, they're within range of a tower. So if you click the one like way over here, you might only get one tower to do that. And if there's more men-at-arms over here, you'd want to make sure that you target fire something in range of multiple towers, not just one tower, so that you don't have other towers that go, oh, that's out of range. Okay, let's shoot the battering ram instead. We're going to make sure that you're properly doing that, because the towers don't have infinity range. You can see how far they are right there. You can see the circle. It's not like the whole screen. So definitely try to target fire your towers onto a target that's within range of it, so that you don't, or the whole point is you just don't want your towers shooting the battering ram. If they do, you're fucking yourself. It's really bad. Okay? Now, secondly, what you want to do as well is you want to bait the men-at-arms into a bad location, and you can force that to happen based on how you micro your workers. So this is why we talked about, we have another answer for battering rams, and that is the workers themselves. If you tell your workers to right-click a battering ram, which is also why I control group just my workers that I want to use for my defense. I don't do all workers here. I just do the ones that I pulled off. I have a lot of them. There's like 25 workers here, like 30 workers here defending this. Because a lot of them are already like garrisoned in towers. Some of them are still building towers. There's a shitload of workers here. What we do is we right-click on his battering rams, and we make him run into towers. And as soon as he runs at us with his men-at-arms, we run our workers away and target fire his men-at-arms with our towers. And then if he runs his battering rams away, we let him run away. It's fine. We don't got to chase him. But if he runs his battering rams back into us, we once again run our workers back into his battering rams, and we just ignite the shit out of the battering rams, because workers can kill battering rams pretty fast. A really interesting way we can do this as well is we can actually have multiple. So this is where it gets a little, so you could do that. I guarantee you could do that and beat this build versus not great players who execute this build against you. Like if you're not great at micro, if you do exactly what I just said and that's just it, I bet you could win versus this build repeatedly. Just target fire a men-at-arms every once in a while, so you're not shooting a battering ram, and just right-click the battering ram whenever it seems like you're not getting slammed by a bunch of melee, and then you're good to go. And then as soon as the battering rams are dead, you can go back to chilling in your base again and be like, cool, I'll go back to work now, because if he ever engages my towers from now on, I never have to target fire because there's no battering rams, and he'll just lose all his men-at-arms super fast. But if you're more advanced, and that means your opponent is also probably going to be more advanced, what you can do, this is really, really, really good, is you can take your workers and you can split them up, being like, some of you go up, some of you go down. You like have multiple clumps of workers running around, and they're all somewhat guarded by towers because they're all like around the area of towers that you have. And you just do pot shots. You like run these bottom guys up, smack the battering ram, and then he tries to come down and defend that, and you run away. And then your top guys come down, smack the other battering ram, he goes up, you run away. And there's not a lot of time that this guy has to where he can like do this all day, because he's gonna lose his units really fast to towers as long as you focus fire the right shit, and he's gonna lose his battering rams really fast if you get a couple good shots in there. And if this guy just doesn't micro at all, you could just run whatever group he's chasing you with away and have the other group of workers just straight up sit on the battering rams until they're dead. So you'll see it in action right now. That's basically what we do. What if he brings cavalry and he runs your workers down? But focus fire the cavalry with your towers. Cavalry would die even faster. So the only cavalry that Holy Roman Empire can make right now would be horseback, like horsemen, light armor cavalry. Your towers would obliterate horsemen. The only type of horseman that would be a problem would be a knight, which I don't believe Holy Roman Empire even has in the feudal age. That's like Russia, France, and I think that's it for literally civs that have heavy armor-based cavalry at feudal age, which is age 2. Which is a really early rush, is what this is, right? This guy has heavy armored melee, like heavy armored infantry. So you'll see, right? I have my shit loaded up. I'm focus firing his men-at-arms. I will now use my workers to run around and smack his fucking battering rams. Okay. And we actually did just pull off a bunch of workers because he's fully committing to my towers now. And my towers are starting to die. So we actually did just pull off... We did pull off our sheep workers just now. But we didn't pull them initially because he was super committed there. And we just pulled them off so we could load up the towers and also have enough workers to like kill the battering rams. But as you can see, we got a lot of good shots there. Now we should absolutely run the fuck away with these guys for a second or something and like get these guys away from these dudes as well. Get away from his men-at-arms. Don't just stand there and tank them. Definitely move. So these guys are backing up. These guys are going forward. I'm running away from his men-at-arms, but I'm actually going to get a few more shots, which is nice. But now I should definitely get the fuck away from these guys. Going for the kill on that would be really greedy. I could kill it right now, but if I did, I might lose like 4 workers to do that or something like that, or like 3 workers to do it. It might be a little bit wasteful. He's not even doing damage to me anyways right now, so it's not that big of a deal. I should probably get the fuck away from this area right now, because I'm also only going deeper into his area, which more units are coming from. So it's scary. But look at this. While he's over here running these away, all of his units over here are standing in my towers getting just fucking drilled by my towers. So these guys should run away. We're actually committing to that one thing. It's a bit dicey. Legit. I mean, there's not a ton of guys here, but that is still a little dicey. This is why textiles does help a lot, though, because it makes your dudes a lot fucking tankier. It's more of a judgment call. But we killed this one, and then we run away. There's no way we're killing the second one. We run away. We get away from his dudes. Meanwhile, look how many fucking guys he has over here that are going to die. He's already lost 1, 2, 3 just died. All these guys are almost dead. And now, as you can see, his men-at-arms are chasing these guys up here. He's got so much pressure on him in this area. And now and he's also chasing these guys over here. We're running away as well over here. And now this is completely exposed if we run these guys forward and start smacking the battering ram. And now these guys also are not being blocked anymore, so we can have all of them smack the battering ram. So that's huge opportunity right there. We just killed the battering ram. And now that's dead. Now we can run away. And then all these dudes that chased me up top just ran into my main base, which we loaded up with workers. We just basically run him in circles. And we always run to garrison points whenever he's chasing us to load up and then just drill him with fucking shots. Now we're running away again. And he's chasing me back into more towers. Like, he is just getting fucking destroyed right now by these cannon shots in these towers. And that was the end of the first defense. And now here's the crazy part. You might not realize how good that... Like, it might look like... You're like, oh, Vibe, it looks like you took a lot of damage. You definitely got kind of fucked up there. But in reality, I have 20 workers inside this building. I have 5, 5, 5, 5. And this one has nothing. But I have 40 workers inside buildings right now. So what I can do now is I can double-click my buildings and go ungarrison all of them, which is F. It ungarrisons everything. And now I have a shitload of workers doing everything. And if we look at supply now, My current economy right now is at 69, and my opponent's current economy is at 46. So this is fucking huge. Your pop filter's slipping off a bit. Some kind of loud plosives. We're good. Okay, sorry. If it was like my air was going into it or some shit. We're good though. We're good now. We're good. But yeah, thanks for letting me know. We have a lot. We just have more supply now. Like, we definitely have a lead here because this guy just failed an all-in. This all-in is a one base all-in. It is one base, one town center. That's it. And he spent a bunch of resources on trying to kill me with battering rams and men-at-arms. And we just killed his whole army down to that. And he's still doing more, right? He's still got more dudes coming. And he's making more battering rams again. He's going for round 2. This is what most people will do. Okay? So, we've shut it down. And then we're going into, our own economy, basically, at this point. We're continuing to get everything fixed here. So we're just spreading our workers out, trying to fix the front of our door here, in case he continues, which it looks like he is, right? And, because, I mean, people who do this build, they're not just going to stop. If they're all in like this, they're going to probably keep all in you like this. But we're getting everything set up here. We're continuing to make workers the whole time. And there comes the second version of the timing attack. So once again, what are we doing? We're adding more towers now to the front. This is what we should have had the first time. And now here we go for wave 2. Everything I just described is going to happen exactly the same again. Ideally, we're going to do workers on the battering rams and try to avoid men-at-arms. And we're going to have men-at-arms get lured while they chase workers into towers. And we're going to just, go for kills here. Now, the thing that's weird about this, you guys might not realize this, but this building just died. This barbecue building. It just died, and you basically have to fully repair it for it to be active again. So this building is actually not active. It's literally dead weight right now. It looks like it's done, but it's actually not really done. This building right there is the only building that is in the vicinity of being hostile. Like, it's actually up right now. These 2 towers aren't done, obviously, and all these towers in the back are not in range at the moment. So he's not currently... But this one tower is actually in range right now, so it's going to help. But other than that, like, this tower's out of range. This tower, they're not helping at the moment. But so what we're doing is we're power building the towers first to then push him backwards again, and then we're going to finish off the building here. So we finished it. We loaded it up. We run away. Go over here. Power build it. And then now, opportunity. We were going to build that. But it doesn't matter anymore because if he's not here anymore, why do I need to power build that? He's running away. But if he runs away and his battering ram's still here because battering rams are slow as fuck, why don't I just go smack that battering ram with some fire? Weaken that shit right now. Okay, now he comes back and we run away. There's no need to throw my workers away. But we literally just did over 100 damage to that battering ram really fast, which is really nice. And, yeah. Then we can garrison that building, and now all these towers are just fucking railing him, while we can now force him back and repair this building. Like, tower defense is literally how you just destroy this shit. Because it gives you a lot of, like, you can just make a lot of workers with this. And a big reason why, so now, the final little piece here that's relevant is a big reason why I like this defense the most for China. At defending the men-at-arms version of the battering ram all-in is because China has nothing. There's nothing that China has early game that can deal on the feudal age 2. Nothing China has at age 2 can deal with heavy armor except barbecue building's cannon shot, this building's cannon shot, and the cannon shot you add on to your outposts, which is really nice. It's not like, so by the way, I don't have a cannon shot on every tower because I couldn't afford it, but I do have it on like 4 of my towers. It is nice to have on some of your towers, especially the ones that you think are going to get the most action. So I didn't put a cannon shot on like a tower down here or something, but I definitely would put it on like the middle over here or something like that. But the point is the cannon shot helps it thin out the number of men-at-arms a bit faster. And then also these buildings just stand up really well to the men-at-arms, because if you have like 5 of these buildings all full of 25 workers, 5 per, you're actually drilling, even though he's got heavy armor and you're shooting arrows at it, you're drilling his health bar so fast that men-at-arms are still dying pretty quickly. But if you tried to beat men-at-arms with like spearmen or horsemen or standard archers or Zunus, which are all units you can make in the feudal age, you would get fucking destroyed. Like, you would be like, wow, these men-at-arms just run me over every time. Holy shit. Like, it just doesn't work, because all your units would die as like way faster than his die. The only reason why, even though our arrows aren't designed to beat heavy armor, why they are beating heavy armor, is because they're strong as fuck. They're buildings. They last for a long time, so the DPS stays up really for like a long time. And also, men-at-arms don't run faster than villagers, so it's really easy if we're going villagers. It's like a double bonus for us. Mass villagers kills battering rams really well. Villagers actually kill battering rams amazingly well, because you can make so many of them so fast, and they just fucking ignite that shit like crazy. So this, in my opinion, is like the best build you can do against men-at-arms version of the battering ram rush. And you can see that, look at that cannon. It just fucking drilled that guy. Every time the cannon shot, it was like 15% of his health bar. Okay, and then now at this point, we once our economy gets really up like this, we have the ability to, you know, we can now like switch this. It doesn't have to be like we're on defense all game. All we have to be is on defense until we have a good economy, and right now, we'll pause it really fast. We have 106 workers, and our opponent has 56, so we have double his economy now, essentially. And now we can just outproduce him, and just, this is now just a raw macro game where we can just make a good counter to what men-at-arms are, and just push. And a good counter to this would be something that can tank the men-at-arms, which would be like a palace guard, that'd be fine. And something that can pierce the men-at-arms armor, which would be like a crossbow, which both of those units, palace guards and crossbows, you cannot make either one of those until you're on age 3, which is castle age. Now he's doing another men-at-arms push with trebuchets. But now we have crossbows and all that shit. And our supply is just going to grow really fast, simply because we just have more production, because we're working with 100 workers versus him only having like 50. So we definitely have way more income than he does. So it's really hard for him to keep up with us anymore. We're just going to outproduce him, like I just said. Starting to push the fight. And now at this point, this is just kind of like a standard game of Age of Empires at this point. Like it's all just normalized. The only difference is we have way more economy than our opponent. So in a normalized game of Age of Empires now, we just have the ability to outmass our opponent like fucking crazy. But like, we're focus firing our nested bees on his archers. We're focusing our palace guards on defending against his men-at-arms first. And once those are all dead, now we're focusing on killing the mangonels with our men-at-arms to get rid of his siege, because we don't really want to chase his archers, it's pointless. And then our crossbows are focusing on killing his archers as well, because they do really dog shit damage to the siege. It's not the greatest. They would be doing more DPS against the archers at this point. And then we just keep making more army. Now we added lancers to our army. And we're just starting to overpower our opponent through sheer production. And this is what a good economy does versus a person who has a really weak economy. We just outmass the shit out of him. Now we're also on age 4. So we can use like top tier units and shit. And that's basically it. So yeah, the game's now over. This guy's he's definitely dead. So this only really works the way I just did it against Holy Roman Empire. It's really good at dealing with a lot of men-at-arms and a lot of battergrams. This exact type of defense, I need to test more, honestly, but I'm not confident to say, oh, this is all you got to do versus everybody. It's not the same. This works against slow melee that is heavy armor. I'm not going to say that this is going to work against knight-based. It's not going to work against like cavalry-based ram pushes with like heavy armor, like a France rush. And it's also not going to be like, oh, this is immediately going to work against archer-based ram rushes. This is super good though versus infantry-based ram rushes. It does not matter if it's heavy armor infantry or if it's light armor infantry. If it was a bunch of spearmen instead, this would work even better. This would destroy spearmen even harder than it did men-at-arms. But no one's going to go mass spearmen, but they're going to go mass men-at-arms if they're going to go infantry. That's just how it's going to be. But archers and cavalry, they change things. And I'm not going to say that this is automatically the only thing you should be doing. Like I said, I need to test more for other versions of ram rushes, because ram rushes are insanely fucking strong in this game right now. They're hard as shit for China to deal with. So when I figure it out to the point to where I feel like I can make a guide for you, kind of like what I did here, I totally will. But it's not right now, though. I gotta like have more experience with it myself. But yeah, this guy's dead. This game's over. He has nothing at this point, so we just run him over. And the reason why he has nothing is because we had a good economy the entire time he was going all in. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that game. Hope you guys found it informative and useful, and I hope it helps you in your games, and I hope it gives you some ideas on how to play China in Age of Empires 4. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. And good luck. Piano music. Later, guys.